things in order on this side. That would be good. If we were able to get graphics up and running, laptop is up and running. Yep, that all looks good. I have not checked to see if we can make this happen. We can figure it out. And now we will see what else we could do here. All new questions. We'll get started in just a moment. Need to adjust myself and my, not sure, I made changes to my camera, so we're going to see if I'm happy with this camera. Now that we're going to go all the way through this live stream, and I'm either going to be very happy with it or not at all. It's always one or two things like that whenever we go through this. Let's make sure that we're able to get our keynote up and running. Green light, please. Got it. Green lights. Very nice. So I think with that, we just wait for this to turn into a 12 over here. Can you even see the clock? You can't. It's behind my mic stand. But I'm watching the clock. It does not have a second line, but there you go. Now we're in good shape. It's top of the hour. We've got everything ready to go. Let's confirm recordings are going. We're in good shape. Let's do a live stream, everybody. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the March 2024 Professor Messer SY0701 Security Plus Study Group. This is our monthly study group where I ask you questions that come directly from the CompTIA exam objectives, and you online are able to answer them live and in real time thanks to the magic of the internet. Well, we are so glad that you're able here to join us. Even if you are not watching this live, if you're watching this on a replay, you can still follow along and answer questions as we go. In fact, I have a question waiting for you. The way that you can answer this question and participate with us is by visiting the URL that is on your screen. That is professormesser.com/QA. That is the URL that will be our only link that you will need to answer any of the questions. You can also submit questions using that URL, because in the second hour, we're doing an after show, and you'll be able to ask questions of me. Kind of turn this whole thing around a little bit to make that happen. So what I want to do, though, is give you a question and try this out with that URL, professormesser.com/QA. So pop open a new browser window, type in professormesser.com/QA, or use the link that's on the live link, and there will be a question waiting for you. And this question asks, a company is assigning administrator rights to IT technicians on a temporary basis. Which of the following would describe this system? Is that just-in-time permissions, password vaulting, salting, hashing, or passwordless access? Now, the rules that we have for the live stream is no answers in the chat room, please. No hints in the chat room, please. We will come back to this question, though, in just a bit and see how well you know some of this content. Well, we've got.
How are you guys doing? As you come on in, give the video a like and drop some comment in there. Let me see what you guys are thinking.
But if you're ever trying to find the things that we are doing.
All right, welcome back from break, everybody. Looks like where's Kevin? Kevin.
That we are posting and new content. It's all available if you visit Professor Messer.
Got babies in the place. Got babies arriving.
It would be great if you were to subscribe to our channel.
Hey, all right.
As well.
So Kevin should be back in a sec.
Security Plus pop quiz question. You can find that on our website.
Give us some other 411. What's going on with the exam? 750 is the score to beat.
And then we have
he beat it by 2. We will take the win. We will take the win.
You simply type in professormesser.com.
And there he is.
I beat the leprechaun. That's all that matters.
Well, Kevin, you got the floor. If y'all have any questions for Kevin, thank you, Kevin, for sharing. I will let him have the time.
Today we're going to talk.
There was one big one, and it was about routers and switches and how you allow access to people, regardless of which different style. They brought all of it into it.
Or the SY0701, they both earn the same Security Plus certification. So that's one of those where.
Was it anything like firewall settings or anything?
Now, for those of you that have been studying for a while,
there's one part of it was firewall settings, but that was one of 5 parts of the PBQ. Yeah.
And so it will indeed be retired soon. We're coming up on July
31st. Okay. Did the video that was shown today help you with the firewall?
This exam will go away. Now, if you pass your exam,
Pretty sure I kicked its butt. So yes, that video, follow that, trust that, and you're gonna be okay.
Oh, okay. All right. Just want to make sure I got some good info out there.
Especially if
All right,
you've been
straight.
studying these 601 exam objectives.
How were the
This 30-plus
questions
exam
and the
itself is a
format?
90-minute exam, one single
Easily
exam,
understandable?
90 questions,
Confusing?
fewer than 90 questions on your exam. And on this
It was a
massive
lot of
scale,
that kind of
190
reverse engineering that they make you do, to where it's like, you know, 1 + 1 is 2, but they're like, 2 equals what? So you gotta work backwards to get to it, and they do a lot of those questions.
Based questions on this
Okay.
exam. So stick around in this study group.
Which topics did you see a lot of?
Now,
Oh, wait a
because
minute.
that
I'll let you.
exam is
How many questions? Oh,
requiring
okay, Martin says, how many questions did you get?
version of the Security Plus exam.
Should
This
be
newer
what,
version
90
is the
questions or
Okay,
82, something like that.
Right
82
now,
questions.
You can
What?
choose to take
You had
either the
82?
601 or the 701 exam.
For BBQs.
You had
Wow.
82 questions
The 701
for
version was released
BBQs?
on November the 7th, the one we just had. So this
Okay.
is a relatively new
All right.
exam. It's only been around about 3 months or so.
What topics did you see the
Yeah,
most?
82
of?
questions, 4 PBQs.
So
Separate, yeah. It was this is probably the most intense one, but there was a lot of it was, let me get the grammatical part, and I'm gonna put it in the chat. I'm gonna pull it from our study guide.
The same format with multiple choice questions and performance-based questions. The only thing that's really different are the content in the exam objectives. So the objectives are very, very different between these two exams. You do not want to study for the 601 exam and take the 701 or vice versa. Make sure that all of your exam materials that you are studying from match the version of the exam that you're taking. If you study for the 601 and you walk into the 701, you're going to have a very bad day.
James, do you have the vulnerability chart?
Into the 601 exam,
You talking about the
also have a very
CDFS?
bad day.
Exploits and vulnerabilities were a huge part, like 15 questions for me.
Was that the big one I showed you?
Yeah.
701 video, you need to take the 701 exam.
It was a lot of questions about exploits and vulnerabilities.
The CDSS calculator?
That one did pop up. I just skipped it because that was the one that I tried putting stuff in and it wasn't working.
Because it's not going to retire in July. And you might need a number
All right,
of
so
months to get through.
So if you get that one and there's an issue,
I will recommend
This
make
one?
sure you put your hand up and tell the person monitoring.
July to pass that exam. But if you're just getting started today, if I was just getting
Are you talking about this one?
with my studies, I would
Yeah, I got that one.
as well.
Okay.
I'm almost certain
But when I would move things into it, it would not work.
as well.
Everything would just snap back down. Nothing would actually fill in any spot. I got to the point where I tried just every one in just the same spot to see if even one would work, and it wouldn't work.
So you couldn't click on them like this?
No, I could click on them, but when I put them up where they're supposed to go, it would just snap back down. Nothing would lock in.
Yeah, so like on this one, like if I click on them here, like just picking stuff and rating them.
Yeah, it would just automatically erase that
We are done here. I also create
when I was taking the test.
podcast version, so if you're in your
So I
car,
just
working
skipped it
out, or you're
because
somewhere
it wouldn't accept any kind of anything.
automatically be
So the
If I
score
tried.
didn't show up here?
podcast.
No, nothing popped out.
On your favorite streaming
I would click on everything,
Spotify, for instance,
and then all it gave me was the option to reset it or skip.
problem. If you'd like
And I just decided to skip because I just started clicking anything just to make it do something, and it wouldn't react.
Also let you know that we have this study group available
Interesting.
as a video
Yeah.
play
Yeah,
So
I
yeah,
got
that's what should
nothing
happen.
like that.
A day later,
Yeah, it should pop up.
as
It's
if
tell you.
by
No,
magic,
I got nothing.
timestamps will appear in the
It
YouTube
did.
video description.
It would just reset over and over. The letters there down right below the vector,
Yeah.
that part would pop up. I got all those letters and I said, what the hell does that mean?
Oh, so you did get a string.
I did, yes.
Oh, so wait a minute. You got a string, so all you had to do, if they asked you a question, it was probably a second part to that question. If the string is already there, these have already been filled in. So all you got to do is add. Was there another question to do it?
There was, yes, there was.
So you would use the string because the string has already been built by pressing on these. So you didn't.
Okay,
You
so
probably
I was
didn't have to
hanging on
because
to the
string
fact that I needed those graphs up top.
You know,
But that
sounds
wasn't
like
actually the question.
Nope, that wasn't the question. They already gave it to you. They already gave you that answer.
Okay, sorry guys, my bad. Learn from my mistakes, friends.
This is good. So if you already see a string here, you've already clicked all this. So it might be a second part to that question where you said were the questions, and now you just answer the questions. So they gave you the chart, which is good. But when I took the exam, this chart wasn't on there. They didn't give me the chart. So now they're giving you the string and the chart to answer the question. What kind of questions did you get, Kevin? Was it
On this one specifically?
Yeah, did they say how did they get in?
Ultimately it was, well, I didn't really understand it as much as I should.
Okay, I got you.
I think it was, how do I make this graph match that vector up top?
Oh, okay. So
That's
all you
the
would do
way
is,
I saw it.
okay. So if it's this where it says attack vector, there's AV right here, and they say A, so you click A. If it says attack complexity, it says H, you click H. So all you're doing is matching all the strings with the letters, and then it'll give you this graph.
No difference here. Everybody.
So is there a specific order we're supposed to go with in?
Well, you have to match the letters. Yeah, so all of this first part is in here.
So how do we know what the order is? Is it
It's telling
up
you
to
right
down and then down?
Yep, you go down and then you go over here.
Okay.
Then you go, this is straight down. This is straight down, then you go over here, go down, and then you go over here, go down.
So it's always down and then over.
Yep. So there's the whole answer right there. They probably want you to match it in here.
Yeah, this whole thing is be ready for this.
All right.
That's all I can say.
Good call out, because I'm not seeing this one.
Yeah, be ready for it.
That is the right answer. That's what we were looking for.
You would have had more points if you would have understood this one and the other one.
Yes, I would have. Thank you, James. I appreciate the call out.
But guess what? You're still a brainiac because you still passed it.
Hey, we did what we gotta did, so we're good.
Aaliyah asks, is there any overall tips you would give everybody? Like overall?
Vulnerabilities and exploitations really popped up a lot. Where their value is, the CVSS, that came up. So a lot of vulnerability issues came up. Probably 15 questions or so with exploits or vulnerabilities. And then the PPQ we're kind of looking at right now. That one was a big one. And firewalls. Firewalls, be ready to do an individual firewall as its own unit, and how you can use a firewall on separate units attached to it.
Good advice. Appreciate you, Kevin.
Yeah. If you got any more questions, ask me, but that's probably all I got.
Yeah, this was like an administrative test though when you get into the questions.
Yeah. This one's a little bit more word-based rather than computer-based. I know that's kind of a weird way to say it, but this one's memorization. The last test was understanding the system and how it works.
Aaliyah asked, any acronyms that you saw that we
There's other
didn't
questions
hit?
being
Oh, good
asked.
question.
And I have for you today a question that is a performance-based question. This is a 701 question, although I will tell you a number of the topics on here also apply to the 601. Let's go through our performance-based question.
Mike asked, what's the likelihood of passing this off the bat? High.
Match the technology. The technologies that we
Yeah,
have
this is an admin test. Now they've changed some PBQs since the last time I've taken it. I took it like almost 2 years ago.
We want to add randomization to a hash.
Hold my beer, Charles. Yeah, this is an admin test.
Valid authentication.
When you get into the questions, they're now like, okay, it's all like
the technologies on the right side.
local laws, procedures, maintaining
For those of you listening on the
NIST
podcast,
framework,
those
CBSS score.
are
They're not really asking you to put a network together. They're just more like,
OCS.
here's all the tools for you to maintain one.
Organization and
Pick one that agrees for what you need to do. Like, where can you find this stuff at? That's how I felt about it. I passed the test and didn't even take no practice test or nothing. I listened to Messer. I listened to Messer for like a month. First time I sat down. Now, I'm not saying I got a high score, but I passed it.
But with 7 different
Yep.
options to choose from,
I passed it
something we
first time.
commonly see on the exam, you could get only one of these correct. Having this inability
So, like, to
fill in
me,
every single
It
blank
sounds like Kevin kind of agrees a little bit that it's an administrative. You can study the heck out this. You can study the heck out this exam.
3 of these are going to be left over at the end. So
Yeah, this one is more about memorization of these processes and the titles of the processes, essentially. Whereas network was a little bit different. You had to understand the whole concept beyond network.
Yeah.
So this one for me was easier, but we all got different minds, right? Some of you guys, your brains work with numbers, mine works with words. Most of mine just doesn't work at all sometimes, so. We're all good, dudes. We're gonna get this done. We got 3 weeks. Let's rock it.
Let's rock it. Yep, just try your best when you go in there. You still got another voucher, go back in there and get it. Go back in there and get it. Go back in there and get it. So, yeah.
Actually, I have a question about that, James.
What's up, Kevin?
So I got network in 2 days.
Yep.
If I fail that, I have to wait 2 weeks, right?
If you fail network again, yeah. It's a cool off period, yeah.
So if I end up having to take a test after our course ends, am I still like involved with you guys?
Yes, you're involved with me
Yes.
directly.
Even though our course ends, I'm still connected to CWP.
You're still connected to CWP, but the first 34 days after you graduate, you're in direct connection with me to retest.
Okay.
Specifically.
Okay.
Okay, so if there is,
When you get past that 34-day mark, you turn over to alumni services.
This might be
okay, so basically, I still got a chance.
I still got to deal with you there, Charles.
Yeah.
But I'm loving it. You guys know I joke, but yeah, I love it. So like,
Yeah, you're stuck with us.
you would email me, call me, text me. I don't care what you do.
Hack you, I don't know, whatever.
And let me know, hey, I need to retest on this. Can I tutor on this? You got a minute where you can talk to me? Mike's like, oh, Mike's like, I'm gonna get. Mike's telling me right now, oh, you better answer your phone.
I mean, this weekend we had a alumni pop in, and he explained a lot to me, and I think that's the reason I passed this test. He gave me just a little bit of extra info. He's just an alumni. He just popped in there and said,
Maybe we need a special.
yeah, he popped in on our weekend course.
Now, if I ever do an April 1st live
And
Alumni
he stayed,
services will talk to you guys Friday.
what's really
yeah,
going on.
That's Friday.
this dude, he stayed late after our class and just kept giving me more information, kept helping me. I wish I knew his name. He was just a random weirdo who was like, I got nothing to do on a Saturday.
it always runs.
Hey, good for you.
Yeah, it worked
It
out.
was there for you. Worked
All
out.
2 points.
He paid it forward.
Yeah,
Paid it forward.
Yeah.
Now I gotta go and pay it forward.
Yep. Now you got to pay it forward. Yep.
He's
So
punished me.
It was match the technology. We want to verify
So-
the status of.
What's like, Kevin? What did you do on the Saturday?
We have credit card numbers.
What?
placed with-
What did you do on the Saturday? I didn't catch everything. I'm sorry.
To a hash.
On the side?
We want to create a document with invalid
You were saying on the Saturday.
information.
what did you do this past? He was
Saturday
in the class
classes,
or,
yeah.
Oh, yeah, the
boot camp.
I did the mastery course, and some dude who had already graduated, an alumni, he popped in and he hung out after the course and just kept giving me advice and kind of coaching me.
If you wanted to plug in what
And
you feel
there's no reason for him to do it. He just did it, and I thought that was really cool.
very well-known protocol called
And I'm pretty sure he helped me.
if you're ever doing
I mean, I barely passed.
to
I'm
technology,
at the bare minimum.
you
If I lost one question, I would have failed.
You passed though, no doubt.
But I passed.
Yeah.
And I think
is the one
the homeboy just hopping in and giving me a different perspective,
is the certificate.
I think that's what did it for me.
Or is
Yeah.
it
Not to say James isn't awesome.
Oh, I don't take no offense.
There's just always people talking different ways, and you understand things differently. And those Saturday classes, they do a lot because you got so many people in them talking in different ways. And yeah, they straighten some things out. Some things they make more confusing, and then I gotta go to James to get back to James with what's going on with us.
a different number, a token.
Hey,
But for the most part,
what do we say about IT? IT is humbling.
Organization is a very common way to
There's no one expert in a room. We all see it different ways and have worked in so many different systems. So, hey, why don't you pass the exam? You could have heard it from the guy on the corner at Starbucks. Was it good information? Did it help you? Yes. Pass. Yep, so I'm good. A win is a win, as Charles says. Woo, woo.
I need to get some sleep because I deal with her all the time.
But it's good to be dad. It's good to have the babies there. But yeah, so I'm so happy. We're in the last 3 weeks.
we are.
I just want us all to kill it.
I don't like it. I want to just hang out here forever. This is a nice class. Do some pen testing with us. I don't know. Let's keep going, man. Let's keep hacking.
And it's for free. It's on the house. No, I can't say that because then they'll be like, James, you just told these students it's free. Why are they still here?
You're lucky we can't record this.
So we want to add a little bit of salt. The salting
Too
of
funny.
a hash means that everyone could be
All right,
using
straight.
password.
All right, so what I'm going to do,
Store those hashes on a drive. The salt.
I'm going to take
each one of those.
a quick
And so
break
all of these passwords
for myself because I didn't take
of
one.
the attacker
When we get
are
back,
very
rapid fire questions. We don't have enough time to do Jeopardy, but we'll do some rapid fire
It does
questions.
have
How
a
about
little more
that?
complexity. It doesn't slow someone
See what
down.
answers you come up with real
It
fast.
does
We got time. We got time.
All right.
Somebody
I'll be back.
Forcing a password, but it does make it a little more difficult. And from a best practices perspective, if you are storing password hashes, you should also be salting those hashes before you store them. Last on our list, number 4, is create a document with invalid authentication information. So creating a document with invalid authentication information seems odd. Why are you putting invalid information into a document? That's because we would like to attract the attackers. We would like to have this file set up so that it looks like something an attacker might be able to use to gain access to a system. We're effectively trying to fool the attacker, and we do that by using a honey file. Honey files are sweet, they attract the bears, and they have inside of them information that you would be able to check and monitor and look for on the internet, but because it is invalid authentication information, it's effectively worthless to anyone who gets their hands on it. It's really a way that you can use methods to be able to track if someone may have gotten their hands on this file, which obviously is a much bigger problem. So that is a very good use of the honey file, is to put information in there that an attacker may be able to use. That's certainly a new topic for the 701. If you're studying for the 601, OCSP, tokenization, salting are certainly part of that, but honey file I don't believe is on the 601 if I think back to the days. We also have these other three topics we did not use. A false negative is when we have a negative response, maybe something, a virus is being sent into our network and our virus scanner does not detect it. That is a false negative. It gave us a negative value, but it was not a valid negative value. It was a false negative. A federation is one that describes the process of authenticating on a third-party network using credentials from somewhere else. So if you've ever logged into a website using your Google login, or you've ever logged into a website using your Microsoft login, even though the sites you're going to are not a Google site, not a Microsoft site, you're using federation. And blockchain, it may not even be worth describing blockchain, since everybody tends to be familiar with cryptocurrency, whether you love it or hate it or don't care. That is certainly a technology that applies to other things other than cryptocurrency. Blockchain allows us to do a great deal of tracking and monitoring and public ledgering, if you will, by using blockchain technologies, which is a nice combination of a nice implementation of technologies in the encryption line. This is something we use cryptography for constantly. It's obviously an important part of what we do today, but none of the technologies we listed here did apply to blockchain. We have those four at the top. Verifying the status of a web server certificate is OCSP. Credit card numbers replaced with temporary values are tokenization. Adding randomization to a hash is salting, and creating a document with invalid authentication information is a honey file. Hopefully you did well with those. That was our performance-based question of the month. We obviously have a new performance-based question every month. If you want to get a few more tests and trials for your studies, you may want to go back to some of our replays and have a look at some of those as well. Well, now we can kind of jump ahead a little bit. Let's move away from performance-based questions and let's do a traditional multiple choice-based question. So here is the next question on our list. It asks, a user is asymmetrically encrypting an outgoing email message. Which of the following is used to encrypt this information? Is it encrypting it with...
I'm being told this is Legal Eagle from Liberty Mutual. Help save you hundreds by customizing your car insurance.
And his partner dog is the gentleman under the security guard.
Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Let me pull up the side so we can see it. There we go. Is it the sender's public key, a recipient's private key, the sender's private key, the recipient's public key and sender's private key, or the recipient's public key? So this is one we really do have to parse out. I'm not trying to fool you, but these are very common questions, the style that you might get on your actual exam. The question again asks, a user is asymmetrically encrypting an outgoing email message. Which of the following is used to encrypt this information? Is it the sender's public key, the recipient's private key, the sender's private key, the recipient's public key and the sender's private key, or the recipient's public key? It's one of those. This is a good question.
All right, time for some rapid fire.
So if you're
Let's see what we could do here.
This is a good question.
Lee, I responded to you.
Along with the folks that obviously all the questions for the
So
today.
let's get this a going.
Also,
Let's see what the definition is
there
gonna
were
be.
some topics on that previous one that did not, but a lot of those still did.
All right, here we go.
This
This is
really
jog
do
the
have to parse
memory.
through
Look at
what
it in
we
different
think the
ways.
answer is. Now, if you've never worked at
All right, this utilizes a key string. Lord, can I talk today? This utilizes a key string generator to encrypt data bit by bit using a mathematical XOR function to create the ciphertext.
Have a look at it. You obviously need to put your key, I won't tell you which key, there needs to be a way that I can get the proper key to be able to decrypt it. Just get the
We'll see you can get the right answer first, and we'll just keep going through. We'll rifle it off.
Instead, keep my mouth
So whoever is
quiet,
first
and we will see if you know
to
the
answer. Let's see. Let's see.
to this one. A lot of you put in your answer, so I feel like we might know this one pretty well.
Mm.
Question again asks, a user is asymmetrically
Mr. T says, shout
email
256.
message. Which of the following is used to encrypt this information?
Okay, let's do it this way so we can get through enough questions. As soon as I get like 3 responses, then we'll just go.
The recipient's public
So there's
key
one.
and
Let's
the
see.
sender's private key.
Shot 256. Who has something different
Public key.
than shot
Let's see
256?
what you answered.
So we get like 3 different answers to see.
Actual answer is, we're all
We'll do it that way today.
36% of you say you would use the sender's private key. We also have 29% say we would use the recipient's public key and the sender's private key to encrypt this information. We've got 13%.
Everybody comes up with the same answer, then we're good.
Public key,
Yep.
and then 17%
3
say the
answers.
recipient's public key.
Everybody
And then we
confirming
have
that?
Finally,
Encrypt
3% who
data.
say the recipient's private key. So now we've got this scenario. We want to send someone a private message. We're using asymmetric encryption, and we want to know what we are.
Kevin says, I respectfully decline this.
What do we use to make sure?
No problem, man. You just passed the Sec Plus test.
Is able to read it. but
You can
still
sit this one out.
protecting all of the data that's
I'm tired of
being
tests.
as it's being sent across the network. So let's look at a scenario where we have encryption. Let's say that we.
He said, I'm done. That brain's fried. Okay.
To Alice. And on Bob's machine, we're creating a message.
All right. Looks like everybody's going with this one. No other answer is here. So here we let's Aaliyah. She's typing.
XOR cipher? I don't know.
And he wants to be sure.
Elaine says XOR cipher.
To be able to encrypt it.
All right. Here we go. Let's reveal. Let's see what we got.
Access to.
Stream cipher.
Done by the recipient. Well, something that everyone.
You got the last part of that one.
Yeah.
That's like stream cipher. Okay, here we go. Next.
Key. Now, which public key would we use?
This is implementing measures to decrease the likelihood or impact of a
That's
risk.
because once we encrypt it with Alice's public key, the only
Aaliyah says
way
risk mitigation.
to encrypt this is with the other
Implement the
part
measures
of
to
Alice's
decrease
key.
risk,
And that's the
likelihood, or
important part
impact
because Alice has a private key.
or
She's
impact
the
of
only one that
the
has her private
implemented
key.
measures.
Obviously, it's a private key.
Charles is
To
thinking.
Nobody else
decrease,
gets access to that key but Alice.
Mr.
And
T
we
says risk
encrypt with her
assessment.
public key,
Implement
which
the measures
everyone
to
has. It's public key.
Risk mitigation. Okay, we got 3. Let's roll to see what the answer is.
Once we encrypt with this, no one is able to.
It is
encrypt
risk
inside of it.
mitigation.
risk
Good
mitigation.
job.
Okay.
That also have the public key. It seems odd that you would be able to.
This is likelihood and impact after implementing mitigation, transference, or acceptance measures on the initial risk.
To encrypt than decrypt.
Likelihood and impact after
Brian says
implementing
risk
mitigation.
Put
mitigation.
those together
Brian says risk
of both the plain text and the
Accepted.
public key, we come up with what we call the ciphertext. This is the information that.
Let's see,
no
we
one
say
would be able to
likelihood
send
and
out to the internet.
impact
We can even post it publicly.
after
No one will be
implementing.
able to read
Yeah,
this
risk
except Alice,
acceptance. I
because
think this one
Alice
is risk
the only
acceptance.
Mitigation, transference,
her private
or
key.
acceptable
Somebody else
measures
had
on
Alice's
the
private key,
initial
we would be in
risk.
trouble. This whole process would fall apart completely. In fact, Alice would probably revoke it.
Likelihood
It would
and
be fair,
in.
because somebody else had access to her private key.
Leah
The
says
risk here
residual
is
risk.
that in this particular
Is there
case,
anything
we've done a
that
very
somebody
good
may
job
have and may have
making
different?
sure that Alice is the only person who has access to this. So that is where we would go with this one. The scenario here is that Alice would take that ciphertext, plug it, her private key into the ciphertext, and when you combine those two,
Sounds
you end up with the plain text again, what we started with. Hello, Alice. So if you are a user
Residual
with
risk.
Okay, Brian says residual
Risk
risk, and then Martin
matrix.
says
Bob did,
risk matrix. We got 3, so let's see which one is gonna work for us.
public key, that is the key that is listed.
Residual
Alice,
risk.
public key,
Residual
Alice
risk.
is the
Brian,
recipient.
what's up?
We would need the recipient's public key.
All right.
And if we look at
Here we
our
go.
list, 17% of us said the recipient's public key.
Attack that is orchestrated in such a way that it appears to originate from a different source or group. Michael asked about this the other day. He commented on this.
What do you say when a Jewish boys
Tag that is
killed
orchestrated in such a way that it appears or originates from a different
He had a big
source
question
or
about
group.
this.
A Holocaust survivor is firebombed on the streets of Colorado.
He actually had the question, but he summed it up with like a relative answer that anybody can understand.
Victims of
That.
hate last
Y'all
year.
remember that?
When there's
I know, Mike, you don't remember. You got a lot going on. But it was like, oh, yeah. Yeah, you could think of it that way. Yep.
and stand up to Jewish hate.
Because we were looking at Wireshark
The
telemetry.
answer, interestingly enough, is kind of right in the middle.
And we were looking at this computer's talking to this computer, but then all of a sudden from this computer it's coming from this computer.
Anyone who had the public key would be able to decrypt it. Doesn't sound like that's what we want. Everybody has the public key. If you encrypt something with your private key,
They're looking it up. Uh-oh, got the brains a cooking.
You can read whatever and decrypt
Am I-
everything.
Okay, Kevin says,
TM.
Kevin, I thought you was sitting this one out. He drops in, bam.
You're never encrypting with a private
Charles
key.
says Smurf attack. Elaine says man in the middle. Kevin says oh shirt. Brian says false.
Spoofing.
Aaliyah says spoofing. Okay, we got some good ones in. Let's see what the answer is.
Be able to decrypt it. We sent that to
False flag. Brian, what are you doing over
Get that.
Ooh, good one, good one, good one. I like it. I like it. I like it. All right, here we go.
Using both of those to encrypt the information, that's not what we're doing either. We don't use both of those to encrypt. We only use one of them to encrypt. In fact, if we
Malicious software that attacks
which is
to
obviously
clean
what we
files
choose, then
and
we
spreads
also encrypt it
into
with
a
the sender's
computer
private key.
system.
Anyone who has
Mr.
the
T starts with worm. Elaine concurs with the worm.
access to this, depending on the type of asymmetric.
Brian is a sneaky fella.
In this case, the only answer that makes any sense, the one that we would use to encrypt this information, is the recipient's.
Looks like that. Okay, Charles chimes in with virus. Here we go.
That one absolutely.
Virus.
Oh,
Oh yes. Chucky from the money. The Monty. The Monty shot. All right, here we go.
There are differences when you're encrypting versus when you're digital.
Somebody put Alaskan bullworm. What?
Differences between those and when the different keys are used for those different scenarios, they are a little bit
Oh
different.
my God.
We go right through them. So
All right, combination of a boot sector type virus and a program virus.
Step through
Combination of.
it applies to both of those. Well, we're not done. We can jump back to a different
What do
question.
we
can see
call
how we
this
do
type of
with
one?
the next one on our list? So let's see if we're able to do a little bit better with this one. This question asks, which of the
Pretty
following
interesting.
external threat
boot
actors
sector
commonly
virus.
has limited resources and relatively low attack sophistication? Would this be
MBR.
Shadow IT,
Oh, too funny.
organized crime?
All right, so it looks like this question is asking in a boot. This is a combination of a boot sector type of virus and a
Which of the
program
following
virus.
external threat actors
Trusted boot.
commonly
There's
has
one possible
limited
answer.
resources and relatively low attack sophistication?
Combination
Would this
of
be unskilled, shadow IT, organized crime, nation state, or hacktivist? You think you know the answer? Please no answers in the chat room. You want to go to professormesser.com/QA. A lot of folks in the chat room talking about asymmetric encryption. That question was only about.
It's like this one's stomping some
data.
folks.
That question wasn't talking about digital signatures.
Could be like a polymorphic type thing, I'm thinking.
It wasn't
or
talking about
multi-pirate virus.
All right.
except what we were dealing with from an encryption.
If we don't have any other ones locked in, or if y'all are still looking, I give you a tip. Charles says root.
Now, this question,
Brian said
some of the
is
topics
multi-part
in this question,
teeth.
some of the answers in this question are not something
Oh, I
from the
was
6
thinking root.
So. this
Okay,
is
here we go.
701.
Aaliyah seconds that motion with root.
But some of it is.
Multi-part teeth.
So if you're studying.
Brian,
601,
what are you doing over there?
Let's think
Woot,
root.
woot.
This question
Nice.
asks, which of the
Google.
following
He says Google.
commonly has limited
Hey, if it helps you remember,
and
I'm all for it. How about that?
sophistication? Is it
How about that?
unskilled, shadow IT,
I'll take it.
organized crime, nation
Next.
state, or hacktivist? Number of you have locked
Digital
this question
certificate
already
issued
with
and
this
signed by a
how
trusted
you did.
certificate
We're going to stop the poll
authority.
and see what you answered. The questions here came in 75% of you say the answer is unskilled. But 18% of you say the answer is hacktivist.
Charles says search sign requests.
IT, and then less than 1%.
Mr. T says CRS.
And 0%
Certificate request.
Well, for those of you that are on the 601,
He says my job.
you know, use a different term
Who's that?
on that example.
CSR. Dyslexia. He said his dyslexia kicked in.
Although that's sort of that name itself.
All right.
Is not really.
So we say the question is digital certificate issued and signed by a trusted certificate authority.
Accurate, which would be an unskilled attacker. That's what we are referring to here. It's someone who simply is running a script they downloaded off the internet, hoping that it will gain access to the system. They don't know how.
Lane's looking, Jesus is looking. Got a couple of people researching still. Give it a couple of seconds. We see what we got.
Very limited sophistication from that perspective. And what they're really trying to do is create problems.
Mike searching.
Data. Sometimes they don't even know what they're trying to do. They're just after seeing what they can do. They're not really, they don't really have a
Martin to chime in with an answer at the last minute like he usually does.
And create issues. So that's another example of where that comes from. And these could be someone who's inside of your network. They could be outside of your network.
All right, looks like that's what we're going with so far.
Just enough to be dangerous and really
Oh,
more beyond.
Aaliyah comes in out of left field. Certificate-based authentication. We'll take that. That's the third answer. Let's lock it in and go. Third-party
certificate. Okay.
The hacktivist that you would use.
The closest thing to this is Aaliyah's certificate-based authentication. It's a certificate that's being issued.
How many hours more do I need to get certified?
Yep. If I had to pick one of those, that's the closest one I would go with it. Yep.
So the hours and the class are
but you have to do the search sign. You have to do the request though. You have to fill out the CSR to get it.
the hours and the certifications are separate. So the hours is for the school and the certification is completely separate. You take the examination, and once you pass, you get the certification.
So whenever we get into
So the long hours is just for the school, but the certification you can study and just pass it.
Targets a specific website could be attached to the DNS.
So I have a few more weeks to finish the entirety of the course. So I still have the examinations to take. I have Security Plus coming up and CYSA as well.
Interesting.
Net Plus and A Plus.
So I wouldn't say that would be the right answer, and only 5% of you or so chose that answer. Organized.
But even if I don't acquire the certification throughout the process of this course, I'll still continue to try to take the examinations to get those.
He drops this stuff from the sky. Water and hole attack. We've got 3 answers locked in. Leah seconds that motion. Here we go. Watering.
Unskilled attacker.
Boom, boom.
It's a long process, especially if
Ryan and Aaliyah clean.
if you're doing it at a crash course level where you kind of have to cram all the information in, and especially when it's new information.
We all need water. We don't attack each other here.
These are available both on my website.
All right.
In fact, I want to show you the 701 course notes. As
Here we go. Disk striping with parity uses 3 or more disks and provides fault tolerance. Disk striping with parity uses 3 or more disks.
For the most part, that is
Provides fault.
that is what I'm having to do is self-taught, not just on this particular career or field, but just about everything. Most of the things, just about anything I would say, I have to really
Here we go.
really do a lot of self-study.
Grade 5. Yes. Grade 1 is mirroring.
So it's in the course notes. It's all in there. These
Yep,
course
that's
notes
an old one.
are
Yep.
extensive.
Good to see the old one.
701
It's the old school ones every once in a while.
There's a lot
All right,
in this single
next.
document, and there are, of course, this digital version that
System can respond to an attacker's network scan attempt by sending out fake.
Most of what is being shown here is basically slides and videos that it's still up to the like each person that's going through the class to learn it for themselves.
To keep him comfortably dry.
Leah comes in with honey net. Charles comes in with false negative.
Here we are, the 701 course notes.
Yeah, a lot of the things are changing, but still there is still a lot of the good foundations of IT that are still in place. It's just a lot of implementation of the new efficient system that are now being
Nice
put
one,
in
Ace.
place.
Didn't think about that one.
For free,
A honey file.
so that little nice to be able.
My thing is, if anybody gets anything honey out of this one, I say you won, because you're actually understanding the question.
Every video, obviously.
Honey something. Here we go.
Course 177 videos, only slightly smaller for the 701.
Fake telemetry data. However,
This is a way
where does fake telemetry data come from?
information you need.
Honey something.
Place, and of course you can put it on all of your.
So I'm a win. That's a win-win. We'll take that.
You can study it
All right.
for your security.
They wouldn't have that fake data unless it wasn't loaded into a honey net, correct?
Pull up menus at the top of
Sure.
the site.
All right, here we go.
601 or the 701
Last one before break.
course notes. Great way to support what we do here. Thank you so much.
Represents.
No, that is fine. You can comment. We're going to just questions and answers.
Depending on what
It's
exam you get.
it's not
I had this.
I'm not
mindset.
into like studying
They talked about MTTR,
where it's information that we're not already
MTTP,
given.
Meantime before failure.
We're basically
meantime to
revising,
repair, all
so
that stuff.
it's fine. You can comment.
Yeah.
Would be most associated
Or RTO.
with this.
Yep. The RTO.
Most of the learning and the retention of the information is really based on me going and sitting down and rereading or actually going over the information to actually memorize it.
Meantime between failures in TBF. Good job.
Which of the following SDN planes
So yeah, with that one, I did have
would be most
I
associated
think 2 questions
with this
about that.
task? Is it
82 questions on this one.
active, control,
So what's that?
infrastructure, or management?
All right.
If you think you know the answer,
Everybody go ahead and hit up a break.
ProfessorMesser.com.
We'll get this last hour started when you get back.
Those of you in the chat room,
If you have any
wondering,
questions for
of course,
Kevo,
the
yep,
701,
he'll be here.
The ones you saw on
All
the
right.
screen, the ones I was holding in my hand, are for the 701. So yes, absolutely. Would help very much have this, just the 601, 701 come in handy. Make sure you get the ones, of course, that are appropriate for the exam.
So for anyone that wants to do IT as well, one of the good thing about
as far as this question is concerned, make sure you
so the information it's not difficult. Where the difficulty comes in is retaining the information, because especially if you're not from the IT background and the information is so new, you will have to learn the basics, because simply trying to memorize the information, that alone won't help you to be able to do the work that you need to do. And I spend a lot of hours in trying to memorize the information, but then retaining it is another thing, especially when it comes to doing the actual test on the exam. You need to actually know like the reason for the work that's being implemented and why it's being done. That makes it easier for you to be able to answer questions and answer, or actually be able to put those together. So that's often where the challenge come in. So the information itself is not necessarily difficult. Where it becomes difficult is actually retaining it. So the entirety of the course, it's basically 3 months. So and that's consists of 4 certification: the A+, Net+, Security+, and CYSA, also with the mastery included. So for that, if
onto a backplane inside of this device.
no, it's not too bad. It's the only thing that makes it a little bit more complicated is if you have other things doing. Because if this is not the only thing that you're doing, let's say you're working another job or you're not just simply focused on this, then that may take just a little bit more effort. You know, like when you're in school, that's just the main thing you have to focus on. But being like an adult, if you're consistently trying to improve or learn new things, then you have to find ways to multitask, and it's just take a little bit more effort.
Control plane. Some people refer to this as the control layer of the software-defined network. Now,
And learning is really fun. It's just that it takes a little bit more effort, especially if you're an adult and you're having to do multiple things.
The infrastructure layer. It's the application layer or the management plane where we can actually make those changes into the SDN. Control plane, the results of our changes would go into the control plane. The data runs over the data plane, and then when we actually make the changes, we would do it as part of.
So the good thing about this course is that there's like different class schedule, so it works very well based on your scheduling. And
Where we have to decide where this data is coming from, where this data is going.
if the 1 through 9 works for you, that is pretty good because you have the day class and you have the night class, so it works really well. Oh, and for the next question from White Lightning, no, I am not a teacher. I am actually a student going through the IT class. I'm just now initially learning the basics of IT and trying to get the certification.
Hands would rather not get messy. They feed, they bathe, they play catch. That's why we made a baby wipe big enough to help protect them.
So I think this is where, if you're looking at how you could take a device like
I think teaching is a good job, but I don't think I could
so that we could even then maybe
move into that career field at this point.
where this is going in a cloud-based environment. That's where we get.
But it is a good job.
And this is one that applies now to practical.
Apart from like courses that I will eventually put together on here and knowledge-based information, that may come a lot easier to me. But to follow a particular curriculum that I may have to go through a school or an organization to learn their way of implementing some kind of a teaching, that I may not want to put time into.
That is that a user is using to get into a web server. We want to allow that traffic to go through. We need to create policies for that inside of our firewall, and we do that from the management plane, the plane.
But learning all the new IT information that I'm currently doing, it's time consuming. It just takes a lot of studying
We are talking directly to the application programming interface of this device.
and actually practicing too.
Application layer or the management plane of that particular service. So that's what we were hoping to find was the management plane to be able to do that. 19% of you chose management plane. Control plane's right in the middle. So control plane is where you've already implemented the changes and all of those rules, the forwarding, the routing tables, the forwarding tables, those exist at the control plane. We have the data plane where all the data is flowing, and then I kind of made up the active plane and the infrastructure plane. Those don't really exist. So the ones we are focusing on are the data plane.
That's pretty good.
We are managing the device. We are in the management plane.
The way in which like schools, college, and universities, they have a particular way of doing things, and that's strictly according to the curriculum in which they want to implement. I'm not necessarily into that. Here, I have a little bit more flexibility to be able to go about giving information.
Technologies for your firewalls, your routers, your switches, all of this applies.
At least at a little bit more fundamental aspect and less limited too. So I would like to do it on this platform a little bit more better rather than going into like a school or university to do it. It's too limited. see myself being enclosed whenever it comes, especially when it concerns imparting some kind of education or knowledge based information.
SIM, SNMP, FIM.
But I mean that is fine. I had to go through school just the same. It's just that I have to open myself up so I can be just a little bit more rounded. But when it comes to teaching, I don't I don't think I would necessarily want to go into a school or university to spend time to do it.
Again, it asks, a security analyst would like to be
And I think if you're doing it, you have to have some kind of a
modified.
interest or really want to do it, because most teachers don't really get compensated that very well.
FIM, NetFlow, Ordeal.
So you kind of have to have love or a passion to want to do that.
Semester.com/QA and lock in your answer. See how you do with this one. A lot of you putting your answers in on this one. I think we're going to bounce back on this one. See if you know what this one. I'm trying to think if this one would be a 601 or 701 question. I want to say this one may just be a 701. There might be 601 on this one too. Maybe there is 601. Trying to remember. You lose perspective after doing 701 now for a year. You have to kind of think back and what was on the 601. I have to remember myself. But I think it might apply to both of you. Yeah, this one definitely I wanted to throw in as many acronyms as possible. So the moniker of acronym nightmare I think applies here. I think that may be a good one to have on this list. Let's see. A lot of you have answered this one, so let's see how you did.
IT and technology, cybersecurity, it's definitely the way to go if it's something that you want to learn new, or if it's something that you're already into. The future is really technological. It's technology based. So there's always going to be some kind of need for an IT-based individual that can assist in one way or the other. So it is definitely a field worth getting into.
Coming in third place at about 6%.
There's going to be a demand more and more for it. Technology keeps on increasing every day.
Those operating system files, they rarely change, if ever. Once you install the OS, the only time those are ever going to be updated is when there is a full update to the operating system.
I am new to the IT field, so it'll take a lot of studying and actually practicing and getting familiar with the IT world in order for me to start implementing more and more of the requirements that a job may need. I can do the basics because I think most of what we do on a daily basis, that's what IT required. But when it comes to the more in-depth stuff that you have to do in terms of the security features and the data analyzing or putting different networks together, then you need a little bit more in-depth knowledge, which I'm now getting. So I really like it, and given the fact that I use a computer every day, or I use my phone or something every day, tech-based.
For systems, I've been implementing file integrity monitoring on systems, I don't know, for at least 20, 25 years. So this is a tried and true and valuable security technology, and one that you will certainly run into if you're doing anything in IT security. Windows has one. It's not a real-time explanation, a real-time alerting system to tell you when something changes, but you can run SFC. This is the System File Checker ad hoc, and it will tell you.
That is absolutely phenomenal. If you have the certifications, even if you have just the entry-level experience, a lot of these companies, they will take you in, and as you gain more experience, they'll move you up in a different position. A data scientist, that is really good. Data scientists, data analysts, it's
system.
these are good positions.
On the Linux side, so you can monitor those core OS.
And at first, it can be challenging too, but I think after a while, it becomes repetition because you're doing the same thing over and over, and it's
should never change.
you no longer have to think into it so much, so it just becomes easier and
So
easier.
look for that individual file so that you know if anybody starts going in and modifying things.
Meta files.
Important configuration file. So that's what we were looking for. Was
Nice.
the file integrity monitor, the FIM or FIM, and 29% of you did choose that one as your correct answer. We have 27% of you that chose SNMP, a simple network management protocol, which is a great protocol for alerting and showing you when information is changing on a system, but it's really focusing on the
And Google is such a big company too that
on in or out of an interface.
it'll take
interface, and in some cases,
an entire network to be able to
what IP address
maintain and fix their system when needed.
does not monitor individual
Because Google is supplying such a large platform,
has no visibility.
Google is gonna always need a lot of people.
System SNMP, the simple network management protocol, is focusing on network management.
He worked in tech for 8 years, so
we would not use SNMP.
that mean
if any file.
he has some good experience then, so that really helped.
That interface card that you have inside of your mobile phone. These days they're mostly digital, so you can switch.
I think after a certain amount of experience, you can, instead of like going into the job to work, you can work remotely once you have a certain amount of experience or even years of working at a company.
DLP is designed to be able to provide you.
That's another good thing about IT as well. After you work a certain amount of years, if you don't want to retire, you can now work remotely and just get some kind of a passive income if you're going to be like bored or anything like that.
Nobody transfers credit card numbers over the network. That nobody is sending your private.
Okay, he does remote work.
That
Yeah,
nobody's sending out information that has social security.
it's really good once you have the experience and the understanding of what the job is and what is required of you. Then working remotely kind of gives you a little bit more flexibility, not just to do the job, but to do other things that you want to do in your life, especially if you've already put in a certain amount of years into that career field or the job. So that aspect is really good. I like the aspect of working remotely. So if you want to work from home or you want to work from somewhere else, you can do it.
Therefore, the answer here is absolutely going to be a FIM file integrity monitoring system. That's what we wanted to pull from. That is the one that is really the answer we were hoping to find. And indeed, we had 29.
Yeah, that is correct.
On that one, you got it absolutely correct. If you are watching this video for continuing education credit, I would love to send you an email.
And it's a lot of the mainstream company or the big companies too. They'll have remote positions. So if you have the experience and the certification, they'll still give you the job, and you can just be somewhere else and still being able to do that job remotely.
Contact us. You want to put in your name, you want to put in your email address, and in the subject line, please.
It's IT. It's like a new wave or the new way to go. If you can get a certification and get the experience in, it might be something that you can do remotely with just a couple of hours throughout the day. And if it's something that you already used to, then it'll be just like an easy passion or something that you just do just to pass the time while still getting some kind of income.
And in the body of the message on a line by itself, put the super secret code words of the month, core operating system. That's what we're looking for. And then in about a week or so, I will send you back an email that certifies that you must have been here. It's a digitally signed message. You'll see it when it arrives. But it takes me about a week to turn those around. If you don't get it back immediately, I'm so sorry. But I do try to get them back as quickly as possible. So keep looking out for those, and I would absolutely be glad to send you that email That's the process you use. You must follow that process. If you do not follow that process, you will not receive any of those messages. So
That is really good. Companies like Google or even
following the right
even Apple or Amazon, all these big company,
process. So that's one of the ways
they'll want people that has a good background in IT. If you have the experience, that is definitely a plus.
I'll also tell you,
Even a lot of the times, if you don't have the certification right away, if you have the experience and you've been working in the field, they may hire you as well.
these, I have a set of practice questions. You may not even realize this. It's my practice exams book. I have both digital and physical versions. There are 3 separate practice exams in this.
Masters in human system engineering. That's phenomenal.
Obviously, the one that is going to be for the exam that you're planning to take. This
So there's
of 3 separate practice exams.
what I'm now seeing is that there's a lot of websites that you can even go to. Websites like Cisco Network Academy now offers like a lot of certifications, like free ones that you can go. In addition, with CompTIA, you can go to these websites and put some time in to actually do the practice and the exam and get the certification for free as well.
Of course, I have both physical and digital editions of those, and as you've already seen,
You said it's harder to get in Google than in Harvard. I think that.
Question A38. Let's see how.
I think you're probably correct there, because Google now, because it's such a big company and it's supplying so much of the world, they may want just the best of individuals to work for them, because especially when it comes to IT and it's mainly internet or cloud based, then they'll definitely want the best the best people working for them. The entry levels might go to the desk job, at least for starters, doing just the basics. But for all the in-depth stuff, big companies like this, they're gonna want the best or the most experienced individual for sure. Yeah, and these jobs also comes with good pay, good salary. So that you're absolutely correct about that.
Jesus, I sent you a private message. Brian, I sent you a private message.
If I scroll down, you'll even see at the bottom, hey, it made it to page, so you can't see it because my head's in the way. You can see it's made it to page 76. There it is. So
97% of rejection rate.
And it gives us the answers, and it tells us the answer is D, containment. And like many practice exams, it tells you why that is the correct answer.
Yep. These are big companies that you need some kind of required certification, or at least the background in IT with the experience.
The correct answer was incorrect, because then I have a chance to understand why I made a mistake. It's a learning opportunity. It's a process to kind of close the circle when you're trying to learn all of these things. So for every incorrect answer in this book,
A lot of people that are in these companies, it's usually something that they have been studying or going to school for, or they've been working in that field.
you can see that everything
So oftentimes it may be your background that adds up, the experience that adds up,
that you are
and then if you also include getting certifications on top of that, then that really adds to it.
the answer correct, read through the incorrect answers too, because it's a possibility on your exam that you might not get a question about containment. Maybe the question in your exam is about eradication or preparation or recovery. There may be important information in those descriptions that helps you understand that topic just a little bit better. Now, if you didn't understand anything in this question, and you're wondering,
Me, that is now doing like the entry level, getting just a certification, getting a job at Google might not be something that I'm aspiring to do. I'm probably not that much dedicated to be so much in depth trying to work towards that. Not that it's not something that can be achieved, but entry level,
topic so that we can learn in another way, not just in practice questions, but in some of the video content that we already have available. And then once we're done, just like your browser.
Why not? Because I think if you already have the IT background, this will be easy for you, especially you've been working in that field. You have the background for it, so you have the knowledge base of what the entirety of the field consists of, then it'll be easy for you.
High quality practice questions. I'll argue this is the highest quality practice question you're going to find.
If it's something that you consider you could do remotely, you don't necessarily want to go into like clock into a job. The IT can still provide you with the flexibility of working remotely, especially with a background of working in IT. It'll be really easy. And if you get bored and you simply just want to have something to do, especially something that you're already familiar with doing, it's easy to just include that in the time that you have and just do it. You can do it from home, or you can be traveling and doing it. But IT, tech is the future. Why not? Especially if you already have the background and you have the knowledge base. If you go to, let's say you're going to get some new certification, you already have an understanding. And if something new, which there's always being update to each course or curriculum, then it's just a new revision of the same thing. So you, at least there you'll still have the base understanding of what is being presented to you. So you'll still be able to get the certifications if you need to get them.
Jump over to the CompTIA website. These are valuable to have. They tell you everything you need to know for the exam. They are very specific to the exam. In fact, the exam rarely is.
Yeah, there's nothing. I don't think there's anything. There's nothing wrong with learning something new, especially if you have the background in it.
Just a nice freebie to have available. Also,
No, absolutely. I don't mind having conversations about it and good interaction, especially when it comes to learning something new or being open to things that may help you or help someone else. I think it's good to have good conversations. So it's stuff concerning IT. We're now living in a tech environment, a tech society.
Could it be rescheduled? It could.
Learning the information or actually have a base understanding of it, it's a good thing.
Link at the top of the Professor Messer website. I also keep a copy of these events.
For a lot of other people, they may see this just the same. They may consider themselves being stuck in a job that they probably don't really want or a career field, but they're probably doing that job because it's what they know. It's the only thing they know, and the environment that they're in or surrounded by probably portray the same kind of mindset or the same way of going about things. So they may just don't know any different.
Liked this, we would love it if you gave it a thumbs up. There's a reason we always ask for that, because our friends at YouTube are constantly watching for those statistics. It's a great way to tell them.
Yeah, it's a good thing, especially with the information. Oftentimes, especially when it comes to IT, most people think that it's a difficult thing to do, and oftentimes it's just take a little bit of application, really applying yourself.
Find out more, ProfessorMesser.com.
And once you start getting the base understanding of it, then you can go pretty far in it.
Full price, or go to ProfessorMesser.com/vouchers.
It's my pleasure talking with you.
Our course notes, our practice exams, and everything else is available on our website. It's a great place to go to find information that's going to help you pass your Security Plus exam. We'll stick around for the after show. We got a lot more to come. Thank you for joining us in this first hour, and we will see you next time on the Security Plus Study Group. All right, I'm going to take a sip. Boy, you go a little bit off mic there. It really does a thing there. Okay, now it's the after show. We did very well with that first hour. Let's see how we do with the second hour. I'm going to.
Oh, awesome! I appreciate you subscribing.
And we're going to tell you that.
This is it's good to have like-minded individual that can at least be able to be in one place to be able to interact about stuff that is productive.
We'll be
And
moderating during the session. So when you submit
actually,
your screen immediately, but
just have some kind of a good environment that promotes some kind of flexibility and growth. So this is good. I appreciate you subscribing
the best way
and just having a good interaction.
ProfessorMesser.com/QA.
Oftentimes, a lot of people don't really, they are bombarded by so much other things, so they may not see a lot of the good information that they want to see, especially with people that may have an experience in a certain career field too. This will probably give them a different perspective.
Because I think it's a good question for the people that are studying for these exams. I wonder if I even have it. Yes, I do have it immediately available. I just have to make it so that you can see it on your screen. So this question that came in from the very first question here is from Alfredo. Thank you for your question, Alfredo. Alfredo asks, compared to the 601, how much of a difference is there? I'm assuming you're referring specifically to the 701. That would make sense, wouldn't it? That is the question here. In fact, if you are trying
We got one more day of class, day 10.
The 701 exam, you may be in a place where you're trying
If you have not clocked out, well, one person clocked out for lunch. The only one that was Kevin, so his hours are already counted in for this afternoon. But everybody else,
we were to look at each individual exam.
You can just count the hours for this afternoon.
Look at the 601 as a
Yep,
whole.
this is as of great question, Charles. This is as of clocking out
What are the differences between them?
at
How much
lunch.
of the
The only
601
hours
was
that counted so far was Kevin's.
How much of the
Speaking of
601
Kevin,
was dropped?
Kevin, make sure you clock in
How much in
so I
the
can adjust your
701
hours.
is brand new? You don't have to calculate it. I've already done this for
Now, I'm gonna change this to 10. So this is
into
what you need.
beautiful, gorgeous, well
This is what you need by tomorrow
Yes, you're talking to the
at
artist
6
itself.
p.m. So here we go. I'm gonna change this to 10.
So immediately
This
you
is
can
tomorrow.
see there are some
You'll see the numbers change.
dramatic differences between these two exams. And indeed, the 701 exam is very different.
So day 10,
I already mentioned that.
can't be below 64. You're above that number, you're
One of the
good.
things I was most surprised with about 3.5 years ago when I put together my 601 course.
Michael said my hours are bad. Nope, look at you.
This is a huge course.
This is what you need by the end of the day tomorrow. At day 10, you're already at 71.21. You haven't even counted in tomorrow's hours yet, or today's punch.
In fact, if you were to count them, just over 1,000 topics.
Yep.
Individual exam objective.
I changed it to day 10, and if your hours are already high,
you can see by the Venn diagram,
you
a little bit
passed.
smaller. 660.
Just got to do the test tomorrow. Get the final in.
So the 701 exam.
Can I scroll up? Yep, I can, Liz.
This may help a bit.
Did I do it already? You got it?
There's obviously fewer topics that you need
All right.
to know about. But that may or may not be your biggest concern with
All right.
this. So
Yep.
you need to evaluate what those differences are yourself and see if that really makes a difference for you.
And for program-wise, y'all are doing good. So
Is that 710
80%
of those
program, the whole all hours included.
700 of the 1,000 were effective.
Over here.
Almost 70% of the 601
So
exam
that's
does
outstanding.
not appear in the 701. That sort of makes sense. If you're going to make the exam slightly smaller, you're going to have to drop some stuff. There's things that are just going to have to be left alone. They're not going to make it into the new exam. The laws of physics still apply. The counting system, our mathematics, cannot be modified. If we were to make the exam smaller, something has to be thrown away. So obviously some topics are not going to appear on there. And as you can see, the 701 does kind of do a very good job of mixing the old with the new. It's almost a 50-50 split between the older topics that are in the 601 and the newer topics that are in the 701. And I hate to use the terms older and newer because all of these topics in both the 601 and the 701 are current security technologies. Nothing in either of these exams I could point to and say, well, we don't use that anymore. We use all of this. The real scope, though, or the idea is that we need to provide you with a certification that is reasonable. One
Hey Zeus, I corrected yours. You're at 4.
to understand these topics. So
That was this morning.
is one where trying to make that decision earlier in the study group, maybe I would want to go with the 701. There are some benefits there. First, it's a little bit smaller, so maybe that helps some, maybe it doesn't, but there is a difference in size. And some of the topics are newer, so maybe there will be some different topics that are things I haven't studied before, which might be interesting to me. And if I was going to choose one right now, I would probably choose the 701. So you can tell there's a big difference there. I've gotten some emails from folks, I've seen some posts online where people feel that there's not really a big difference between these two. I guess if you approach it from a very broad perspective, if you just look at the 5 different domains, I guess effectively Security Plus is Security Plus, right? They're Security Plus topics on both of these exams.
Yes, when I put the 90%,
very detailed
that was for
these 2 exams. So
in
I guess
day
this is
10.
what your approach is.
That's why I moved
Hopefully
it to day 10 on purpose.
Of where you can go with both of those and what things may
Right
be
here.
the right place to go if you're studying for those exams. It's a great question. Thank you for submitting that.
By the end of the day
Let's do
tomorrow,
another question.
this is where you need to be.
Have here. This is along the same lines. This is a great follow-up from Anonymous who says,
For the whole course, you got to be over 80 to pass the whole
how does that
course
affect CEUs?
and the
Well, I will
class.
tell you that
So regardless, if your numbers are over 80% for the class and the course, you're going to pass. Right? They need to go hand in hand. We like to keep you at 90 because if life happens, you got time to recover.
Going away. You won't be able to take an
You
exam.
get what I'm
with
saying?
those
So
questions.
that's why I always say stay at
Then you gotta
90%.
take an exam with the 701 questions.
So is 360 the max?
When they retire an exam. It's the only
That
thing
is
that's affected.
for,
If you were to
it's not the max because we're only on
601
Security
exam,
Plus. We still got to do CYSA.
on
Yeah.
the
Yep.
day that the exam retires.
If we look at the
You will
max
until
for everything,
July 31st of this year. Don't do
Oops,
this,
let
by
me
the way.
erase this.
Do not do this. But let's say you did. There will be people.
Look at
who do
this.
They will
This is
wait
the max for
until the
everything. So
very
if I change this to
last day to take
week
your exam.
12,
It's July 31st. They've gone to the testing center. They take
the
their
max is
exam,
480.
They passed their
It
exam.
changed.
They are Security Plus certified.
So at the end of 12 weeks, you better be over 384
The next day, on August the 1st.
for
Does
total.
that mean they're only
program
certified for a
hours.
few hours? Nope, it does not. It only means
Some of y'all are
taking
knocking on the
601
door. You'll be
exam
there
on
in
August
less
1st.
than,
Once you pass
a
your
week.
exam, even if there are only minutes left,
you would have maxed out your
in the
program
exam
hours that's
lifetime,
available.
you are certified for 3 years.
Yep.
So the people that are studying for the 601 right now, keep studying.
Yep.
The people that are
Yep.
planning to take
So
their
some of
exam
y'all are knocking on the door already. You'll knock it out within a week or ish, a weekish.
and pass the exam.
You'll be like, woo, satisfied that check in the
Once you
box.
pass the exam,
So then all you got to do is make sure your course hours are good for the CYSA course.
Yeah.
you're not 601
40 hours a week,
certified,
3
or
weeks,
701
times
certified,
80%, 90%, there you go.
So let's say right now today, someone went out.
Yep,
and took
it's 3
the
weeks,
601 exam.
40 hours a week,
The person
120
sitting next to them
hours.
taking the 701
You
exam,
can
and
time
pass that
as
one.
that 0.8 or
Both
0.9.
individuals
It'll tell you
are
exactly,
Security Plus
you can't be
certified
below
with this
0.8, whatever that
certification.
number comes out to
There's
be.
no difference between those. In fact, if you want to think back, let's go back 10 years
Yep.
to the 401 exam, the 501 exam.
And then,
And
Jesus,
let's
there you
say
go, I
somebody
corrected
took their
yours.
exam and passed it back then, 10 years
Yep.
ago. But every
Sorry about that.
3 years they have renewed their certification. They are just as Security Plus certified as
All right.
somebody who passes
So
their
that's
exam.
what we're looking at.
So
Looking like.
you're not really focusing on
Great job,
the
everybody.
questions you take. You're focusing on passing this and earning this certification. So Security Plus is Security Plus is Security Plus. The 601 retiring doesn't affect your CEUs. It doesn't affect your renewals. It doesn't affect your qualifications. All it means is that you can't take that exam anymore. And if you're already Security Plus certified, that shouldn't matter. You've got lots of things you can go through, and getting that certification, regardless of when the exam is retired or not, is the important part. So pick the right one, go take that exam. But once you pass the exam, they could change the exam every day. They could retire the exam every day. Doesn't matter. You're Security Plus certified. So you don't have to worry about it. So I'm hoping that you pass your Security Plus exam and immediately don't worry about anything else relating to the retirement of any particular exam version, because at that point, you don't care. You've already passed your exam, and hopefully you'll never have to take that exam again. In fact, there's many ways to renew your certification, so you never have to take that exam again. Let's do some more. On this list, we'll keep going through here. I want to take this one from Jeff first, and then we're going to go back to one talking about certifications to get while you are in college. We'll start with this one from Jeff that asks, I've seen some sample tests, and while helpful, they're usually only multiple choice. Are there any sample tests?
James, I just wanted to let you know I'm heading out.
You have to wonder about
Have a
that.
great night. Don't study too hard. Whoop, whoop.
I went out to the internet. I looked around at the different exams that are out there. I looked at the quality of the exams that are available for free on the internet. Awful. Generally, some are okay, most are not. I looked at how they are written. Some of them are written okay. Some of them are not written very well. Certainly don't seem to have the same style or tone as the actual exam. And a lot of the stuff I find online isn't even topical. It's asking questions that have nothing to do with the current version of the exam objectives. This is a good question though, because as I mentioned before, the first handful of questions you get on your exam are not multiple choice questions. They are performance-based questions. And so when I started writing my book of practice questions, one of the first things I put in my book, let's see if I can bring it up on the screen so you can really see what's here. I'm going to bring up my sample questions again. In my practice exams book, in the very front of the book, with each exam in these 3 separate practice exams that I have in my book, I have performance-based questions. Here's a good example of a performance-based question. Just one. I have 5 performance-based questions for each exam. So in my book, there are 15 total performance-based questions. Now, the other thing I'll tell you is that performance-based questions are not something difficult, secret, hard to figure out. They are questions that they come directly from the exam objectives. It's content that you already know about. So don't worry so much about how they're asking the questions. You should be concerned about the topic that is in the questions. And as it turns out, those exam objectives that I've been talking about this whole time, that's where that content is coming from. So yes, they could ask you a multiple choice based question, or it might be a matching question, which effectively is like a bunch of multiple choice based questions combined into the single thing. I think it will be very easy for you to be able to follow these and be able to understand what's being asked of you. And if you know everything that's in the exam objectives, you'll be able to answer the performance-based questions without a problem. You will not have to worry about that at all. I certainly add performance-based questions to my sample tests. A lot of the performance-based questions, CompTIA has them in their sample tests, in their CertMaster practice courses. They have in there. And I'm sure there are other folks out there in their practice exams that will offer performance-based questions as well, but a lot of times you don't find those online. A lot of places will not publish performance-based questions. It's an important consideration, and I think it's worthwhile that you ask the question. So thank you for submitting that. I mentioned there was a question earlier about understanding what to do when you are in college with certifications. This is from Anonymous, who says, I'm 22 years old, studying IT at a community college, my last year for my associate degree. If you were in my situation, what would you do? What certifications would you go for? This is a good question, and there's no right answer or wrong answer on this one. It really depends on a number of different criteria. First, I like the idea that you went to a community college. They tend to have better IT programs for some reason than four-year state universities. I don't know, well, I know why that is, but I don't understand why that is. But it is a case that I think you probably get a better IT education at community college, and I'm a proud community college graduate myself, so I think you've made a good decision. The real question is, what do you want to do with the cert? And that's probably where we should start. Let's say you're at a community college in Virginia. I would bet a lot of the places that are around you, your geography, are asking for Security Plus, because the federal government, the U.S. federal government, a lot of those jobs in IT ask you to have the Security Plus certification. That's their minimum when you're looking for jobs like that. But maybe you're in Dallas, maybe you're in Texas, and you're not working or trying to get a job or interested in working with a company that does any type of federal type of work. Maybe not a federal contractor, and maybe it's not an office that is federal. Instead, maybe it's a state and local government. Maybe it's a finance company. Maybe it's a manufacturing organization. Maybe it's transportation. Maybe it's healthcare. And you look through their job postings and you notice they're all asking for A+. All right, well, maybe A+ is the right place to go. So this is really an answer that I'm giving you that's a non-answer, which is it really does depend. And I would highly recommend that you do a little research. You know, you're in college, you're used to doing research. Go out to your favorite job posting sites. Go to LinkedIn Jobs, go to Indeed, go to Dice, go to whatever your favorite site is to be able to look at these job postings. And look at job postings for entry-level IT in your area. Help desk positions, service desk positions, remote field service, anything that is entry-level IT, and see what they're asking for. Are they asking for A+? Are they asking for Security Plus? Are they asking for something else? It might be a different certification they're looking for. Maybe that's where you might want to lean into that one. Once you compile it, maybe you've looked at 10 different jobs in your area, 20 different jobs in your area, and now you have some interesting stats. How many of those jobs are asking for A+? How many of those jobs are asking for Security Plus? How many of those jobs are asking for some other certification? What are they? Keep a tally. Use your spreadsheet. Go to Google Sheets. Use your spreadsheet, put them in there, track them over time, and get an idea of exactly what they would like to see in the certification. That may give you a direction of where you might want to go. And in fact, I think that's probably a good idea to be able to match up your requirements or the things you'd like to study with what people would like you to have. That's a win-win. When you're ready to get that job right out of school, you'll have some credentials already in your pocket. Let's keep going through this list and see what other questions you might have available. It's a lot of great questions coming in. As always, of course, you can submit your questions with the link on your screen. Go to professormesser.com/QA to submit your questions. Other questions that are here. Now, we got a couple of questions that came in, almost two identical questions. So I'm going to combine these together. We'll do this one and we'll do this one so that we can see what may be here. These are questions from CH and from Anonymous. And it asks, should I write the A+ exam before Security Plus? That's from Anonymous. And then CH says, should I have my Network Plus before getting my Security Plus? Looking to be a SOC analyst. So let's talk about this. What do you do first? What do you do second? Do you need to do something first? Can you just jump into the Security Plus without doing an A+ or Network Plus? These are things we need to know. So the first thing to keep in mind, or the first thing to know about the CompTIA exams, is there is no formal prerequisite. That means that you can take your Security Plus exam, and there's no requirement that you take and pass A+, Network Plus, or really anything else. You can study for your Security Plus, walk into a testing center, or take your exam at home, and take and pass your Security Plus without any other type of certification, qualification, or anything else that is on your resume. So that's a nice benefit, I think, that if you're trying to get started in IT, you get to decide where to start. You're not forced down a particular funnel or a particular set of prerequisites just to take one of these certifications. This is not always the case when it comes to certifications. Some certifications have extensive prerequisites. Some certifications require that you already be working in the industry a number of years just to get that certification exam, just to take and pass that exam and earn that certification. So that's another thing to keep in mind. CompTIA doesn't care. So that means it's up to you to determine if it's important or not. We can kind of think back to the question we just had about taking a certification when you're in community college, where we look to see what do employers want us to have. And that's a great place to go here. Let's kind of focus on CH, who says, I want to be a SOC analyst. This is not referring to Dobby being a free elf. This is referring to a security operations center. This is what we're really trying to focus on. In fact, many large organizations have a separate network operations center, a NOC, They might also have a security operations center or a SOC. They might also have a help desk, which is more of a desktop or server operations center, if you want to think of it that way. So this is one where it's almost like a help desk, but for security. That's what a SOC is. Or a help desk, but for networking. That's what a NOC is. So when you start working in those types of environments, this is a great opportunity to get in at an entry-level position that is for a series of topics and job roles that can very easily move you up very quickly. Security Operations Center is a good example of this. When you start at a Security Operations Center, you're keeping track of the current security status of all of your servers and all of your workstations and mobile devices. You are managing different threats that you happen to see coming in. You are probably, your Security Operations Center is probably managing the process of actively scanning and looking for vulnerabilities on your systems. And you are, of course, monitoring any inbound attacks to determine what may be happening with systems. Maybe you're implementing file integrity monitoring. Maybe you're implementing different types of multi-factor authentication. Maybe you're responsible for monitoring the IPsec tunnels that you've created between different sites. All of these responsibilities are contained within the Security Operations Center, the SOC. Where you can usually start, though, these are great opportunities to start at the entry level because, quite honestly, there aren't a lot of entry-level security positions out there. So I often tell people, look to see if there's a SOC that is in your area and get one of those very first entry-level positions into the SOC. This is almost like getting an entry-level position into a help desk, except it's a help desk for security. Think of it that way. So you're probably first level. You're the first line of attack. When the phone rings, you pick it up and somebody says, I think my system has a virus. Now you need to know what to do. There's this whole set of processes in place. You'll be trained on what to do. Okay, here's what we're going to do. Then we start figuring out, triaging, what do you see on the screen? Let's capture this information. Let me get you over to somebody who's specially trained to react. There's probably people in that building that you'll contact. They'll go to this person's site. They'll pick up their computer and take it away and replace it with something else. It's very commonly how companies deal with those types of things. So that way, you've got people standing by with extra systems that will remove the virus from the environment and replace it with a known good system. But there has to be somebody to take that call. Now, in the process of taking those phone calls and figuring out the processes and procedures, you get to meet the people, you get to know the company, you get to understand the processes and procedures they use for these security issues. You get to see really interesting things in security, sometimes too interesting, and sometimes it's a learning process for all of us. And that's where you start to get an opportunity of where you can move up. So if you want to be an analyst in a security operations center, getting there at the very beginning, starting at the bottom and working your way up is a very common way to do it if you don't currently have any type of security experience, knowledge, or any track record in the industry with IT security. So I think that's a great opportunity. CH is spot on. You're right on the money. That's where you want to go to be able to figure out if that's a good place to start. Same thing might apply for Network Plus. If you want to be someone who manages switches, routers, you want to design networks, you want to have wide area network capabilities, SD-WAN, and everything else. You want to be on the network side, maybe you want that entry-level position in the Network Operations Center or the NOC. Same thing applies. We need to find a company that has a NOC, find out what positions are open, and we want to apply to those in those entry-level positions so that you can then start moving up in the organization. So hopefully that gives you some ideas of things you can look for, jobs that may be a good choice, maybe things that might make more sense if you're somebody who's trying to get into that line of work. Those are places where you want to definitely start making some relationships and knowing the people that are currently working at those organizations. Let's keep going through this mix. Let's see what other things are here. So since we're talking about 601 and 701, let's take this question from Artemis, who says, let's say we complete the security plus 601. Do you think it's worth doing the 701? What benefits other than gaining familiarity? Well, remember when I mentioned there's these two exams we can take right now. up until July 31st. So if you're watching this video after July 31st, 2024, this question is irrelevant because the Security Plus 601 will be retired. But right now, at least for the next number of months, we can take either one of these. We can take the 601 and pass it, we're Security Plus certified. We can take the 701 and pass it, and we're Security Plus certified. It's the same regardless of which one we take. So from a practical perspective, if you take the 601 exam and you pass it, you don't need to take the 701 exam. It gains you nothing. Maybe a little bit of extra knowledge that comes from those newer topics that are on the 701 exam. But if you were to take the 701 exam, which you could do, CompTIA does not prevent you from taking these exams back to back. Not many benefits there. The only benefit that might be somewhat legitimate here is that if we take a higher level version of an exam and pass it, then we are effectively renewing our certification at that point. So we could wait a year, take the 701, and now we've effectively renewed our 601 exam. Or think of it that way, or 601 certification, or the certification we earned when we took our 601. I really don't want to call this 601 certification because it isn't. It's just Security Plus. There is no version number associated with the cert. So not really a lot of benefits there. If you're really just looking at gaining familiarity with these topics, just go read through 701 content. Go watch my 701 videos. There's no need to take another exam at that point. You've now just learned everything you need to know. You don't have to take another certification exam to be able to do that. So that's why I tell people, pick one, but you don't have to pick both. In fact, you don't want to pick both. Pick one and go with it. Take the 601 and pass it, or take the 701 and pass it. You don't want to do both. Really unnecessary. Not a lot of great benefits there, and ultimately, you really want to focus on where you're going to make the most amount of traction in your career. Redoing the Security Plus, if you're already Security Plus certified, doesn't get you very far. You should be putting your effort into maybe a higher level certification, into a different certification. Go put your efforts there. That way at the end, now you have 2 certs instead of one single cert that you just studied twice. Hopefully that makes some sense. Because of course it does. Let's keep going through this list. Other questions that you have submitted. So let's see. There's good questions in here. Some of these I'm not going to bite on. Some of these, I think some of you are sending me leading questions. No, it would never happen to be able to do that. So I'm probably not going to bite on the leading questions, but I will kind of address some of them as we go through some of these other questions that are there. Okay, we're kind of talking about jobs and security. We've already talked about the SOC. We've already talked about doing other things. Let's take this scenario from Jeremiah, which is a very common one to consider. Jeremiah writes, I've been looking for a career change into IT and cybersecurity, but working in construction since I was 15 out of a lack of choice. Now I'm 22. Where do you recommend I start? Well, as somebody who did himself work in the fields, I did have a job working in agriculture, as we say, which means they took me out in the field every morning, handed me a hoe, and said, go to work. The idea of physical labor is one that is very satisfying, but it is one that is very difficult. It's one that, in the life of an individual, it's not something you can do for your entire career. Eventually, the body gives out when you deal with those. So, the real question here is, how do we get into IT? If we are in any other role, maybe you're in transportation, maybe you drive a truck, maybe you're in medical, maybe you're in manufacturing, maybe you work in Amazon, maybe you're in retail right now. I have worked retail, I have worked in the fields, I have worked these types of jobs where you were hoping to find a job in technology. Maybe my work in retail really did push me into IT because I felt more interested in the
Kevin, are you there? I need you to log in, sir.
In that scenario,
Kevin.
Kevin. Easy way to
Kevin.
from one type of job to another. And there are a lot of different things we can do.
I need to send a carrier pigeon to his house.
There is in the YouTube video description of this video, there is a link to the video that I've already made, which is how to get a job in IT with no experience. Sort of the question you're asking. And I made that video because a lot of people ask this question. It is a 30-minute video. I know. In the world of YouTube, in the world of very little time that people like to spend on any single video, that's a lifetime to sit through. You're welcome to speed it up if you would like to, maybe 1.5 or 2x. But it is chock full of information. I've taken everything that I've accumulated in my multifaceted technical career, and I've tried to get it all in this single video. So if you're looking for every angle you can use, you're looking for every strategy that can get you into the world of IT, you're looking for things that may not even be technical that can help you, they're in this video. So I highly recommend you go through everything in that video so that you really understand the approach. It's really 4 different things. Here's the executive summary for you. I want you to have a formal education. You may or may not have that. You don't have to have all of these, but they help. A formal education of some kind, a high school diploma, an AA degree from a community college, a 4-year degree from a university. All of these are great things to have. Employers still look at them. Not completely
Actually, with
necessary.
Measure Up and Canvas, because they're
second
doing
thing on the list
updates,
is
we've just had reports of
formal
students not being
industry
able to submit
certification
some
of
stuff.
some kind. So EA Plus,
So
the
like,
Network Plus, the
we all pay for
Security
servers.
Plus, other types of
So
entry-level
those servers don't belong to us.
like it when
They're
you
sitting
are
somewhere else.
certified.
So
And so those are
sometimes
valuable things to put on your resume.
they're
as well.
good.
Having an A plus.
Sometimes they're bad.
IT would be a
Where
great
they can be bad and then they
Third on the
not
list
work
is
out in your
some
favor
type of
is
practical
when
experience. So
somebody
there are things
is
you
trying
can
to
do
submit
on your
something
laptop at home, on your
at the
computer
last
at home,
minute,
that if
and
you're
then
spending
they're
your
like,
time
I
on
couldn't
video
submit it.
games,
And then you
you
know
can
the whole
easily
story,
spend
right?
that time
But then they'll say, well, you had how many weeks to get it done?
installing Windows, installing Windows Server,
So yeah, it could turn into one of them
firewalls,
things. Yeah.
stepping through Packet Tracer from Cisco.
I had a student, actually I had a student in one of my first classes.
Videos, not just
It was on
mine,
campus.
other people on the internet.
And I
on
said, hey, you
YouTube.
want to get this done? You want to get it done? You want to get it? It was one of the first exams. It was like 11:01.
Technologies and get you more understanding.
Nothing like you, Mike. You get your stuff in. You're here. Like this dude was just
How
like,
the storage systems work, how the file
Like,
systems
I'll get it
work
done when I
inside
get
of
it
these
done.
operating systems, how security focuses
Okay.
on all of these. There's
when he turned it in late, he was like, I didn't have any opportunity to do it. I'm like, oh, you didn't? Try to throw me under the bus. I was like, oh, you did?
They can easily run a virtual machine.
Okay.
You can get some
I gotta grab baby girl real quick, but yeah,
Oh,
this
do
is
what
one
you
of my
gotta
things where it's just like, because I understand, because, people have responsibilities, things going on, just, if the thing glitches, there's nothing you can do, that kind of thing.
Yeah. I think it's the timing on which you tried to do it, which could be the deciding factor, just to be straight. Like, if you tried to do it a week ago and it didn't go, well, you still got a week to submit it. If you try to submit it like 2 hours before it's drop dead due, then they're gonna be like, okay, wait a minute.
There is some truth to that. The reality is, of course, it's not only who you know, it's also what you know. You really have to have both of those. But it helps a lot if you know someone who already works there. And we're not talking about someone who is a close friend. We're not talking about a blood relative. We're just talking about someone who's an acquaintance. Maybe you go to a Cisco user group meeting that's local. Maybe you go to a Microsoft user group meeting. You meet some people there in your local area. And after going to a few meetings and meeting them and talking to them, you can even ask them, hey, I'm in the market to get an entry-level IT position. Do you folks have a help desk? Are you hiring right now? Can I give you my resume and hand it to the folks in HR? You may think offhand, that's a little forward to simply foist your resume upon somebody, but here's what you may not realize is many of these companies, almost all companies, have an employee referral program where if you already work there and you bring a resume in and hand it to HR, and HR hires that person, they give you a finder's fee. They pay you for bringing resumes in. It's almost like free money. And so when you're asking someone already working in a company, hey, can I give you my resume so that you can sort of pass it on to HR and say, here's someone who goes to the Microsoft user group meeting, and they might be good for this entry-level help desk position. They're almost always going to say, yes, you should send me your resume. You should absolutely send me your resume if they haven't asked for it already. There are many people I have worked with who will always ask in a user group meeting, hey, why don't you send me your resume? Like, they don't even ask for you to say, can I send it? They go, you should send me your resume. And they just keep sending resumes into HR. It's a numbers game. And they're going to hire one of these people, and that person who gave the resume, the person who showed up first with your resume, they get the finder's fee. So that all of those things I just described are in the video that is in the YouTube video description on this video. It's on my channel. Just search for Professor Messer, how to get a job in IT with no experience, and you'll be able to find it. That's the one that has all of these details. So if you're looking to move out of construction and get an entry-level job in IT, I think that might give you some strategies you can use to be able to do exactly that. Might help you quite a bit. So have a look, see if that's something that you think might help when you're working through that as well. So let's keep going. Let's keep going through the list of questions that you have submitted and other things that you have here. Well, you guys are really good with some of these questions. Thank you so much for submitting these. Let's see. This is another one. I think I already answered a number of these, so I'm just going to archive those. Many of you who have submitted questions probably already guessed the ones that we have already talked about. So let's talk about CEUs real quick. As you recall, as we were going through this video, the first hour, I talked about how you could earn a 1-hour webinar category CEU. If you'd like to know how to do that, you can go back and look at something somewhere in that first hour I mentioned this. Amandu says, I've been watching your videos, but I have not been requesting the CEUs. Can I watch the videos again and request the CEUs again? Or is it, how does that work? Can I do it in batches? Can we do it one at a time? Let me tell you the best way to do it. You can do it either way, but the best way to do it is to send them to me one at a time. And that's because I have...
Does the in-the-course survey count for anything?
Look at the request that came in. I verify...
What's up, Mike?
Like, it's in, I'm looking at the grades, or my grades, it says in-the-course survey. That's the final exam.
Then I have a process that
It should be day.
that email and then places it...
You about tomorrow electric number, just saying doesn't count for any points or...
Oh, the core survey? No, it does not. Core survey does not.
Nothing
No.
in that email
Gotcha.
changed
Okay.
if you
Yeah.
were able to verify that email afterward.
But you still have till tomorrow, Mike, so it's good. You still get it in.
Digital signature after all, correct? So this is practical security that we are doing through the use of the CEU emails and using digital signatures. So that's why submitting them one at a time means all I have to do is visually look and then just press a button, click, and then it sends off everything to you. Makes it so much easier for me. When they
Got a
come
good
in
feeling y'all gonna
batch,
kick that butt,
somebody's
that exam's
shipping an
butt
email.
tomorrow.
Here's 10 CEUs because that is the maximum that you can
Yeah,
submit.
especially with the knowledge Kevin has brought.
Here's 10
Yes,
CEUs, please send me
yes.
the list. Then I have to manually parse each one of these out, copy paste, look at it, confirm. So there's a little more extra work I have to do on my side. So if you're interested in making it as easy as possible for me, thank you. I appreciate that. And the way you do that is to submit them one at a time. And I would be
Mike,
great-
you're doing what you
greatly
can.
appreciative if you would do it that way. It
Don't be
helps
so
me
hard on
so
yourself.
much to be able to submit things. Now these continuing education unit
You are here, you are trying.
are
That's what we
provided
ask for.
by people
We'll get
like
the-
me,
we'll get the-
that you
we
can
still
use
have
to
the other
renew
stuff
your
you need to do.
certification, but it's not the only way to renew your cert. There's lots of different ways to renew your certification. If you go to the
No problem,
CompTIA
Charles.
website, they will list out all of the ways to renew your cert. If you're interested in continuing education, it's right at the top of the screen is the continuing education
Mr.
section.
T says it's already
It
making
goes
me
through the entire
look like
process of how you renew, what the
background.
password
You got it, man. This is all trial and error. As long as you're here trying, hey, that's it. Trying.
Right there.
The failure part is if you never try.
You do is follow that path.
Right? Do y'all agree with that? That's failure. Like you never even tried. At least you tried.
Best
Yep.
way to renew, and it's all listed there. There's a lot of different ways.
You are
But don't worry.
Cyber Warriors.
Everything
We need to come up with a cyber warrior call.
Every question is going to be
Something.
Speaking of renewal,
Mike's like, I'm not screaming that. You need to come up with another one. I'm not doing that. The look on his face is classic.
But you can take a newer version of exam.
He's like, nope, I'm not on board with that one.
It is probably the hardest way to renew is to take the exam. Unless this is just
Oh my god. Yep, nerds. We're all nerds.
maybe you write training courses for security systems. If you do that, you're probably able to walk into
All right, y'all, let's 6.
any time and pass the exam. Because you're already familiar with the content.
Don't study
But
too
a
hard
lot of
tonight.
folks who have passed their
You know,
Security Plus exam,
Take it in
maybe
bits.
don't want to take the
Take a
Security Plus
break.
exam
Don't
because
try to run straight through it all.
you really can't
Give
find
you micro doses.
I would then tell
All right.
you what you
Y'all
want to
been
do
doing great, so
is you can use that as
I'll check my email every now and again before I
third party
go to sleep. But and my text messages, I'll check them every now and again. So if you have anything, you got a question, just reach out. All right.
Yeah.
Those renew your
All
security.
right. All y'all have a good night. Don't forget to clock out.
Yeah.
See, there might be some benefit to taking a different exam. And then you've got other things that you can do, like collecting CEUs. You can take. We talked about third-party exams, and there's CertMaster CE, which is another way to renew your certification, which is a computer-based training program from